Welcome back, Outlaws. On this episode, I'm here with my buddies Brett and Mark, and we're going to be talking about Brett's really cool 41. So stay tuned. Okay, now that we're checking this really cool car out, is there anything that you can tell us about it, like how you came across it?
Yeah, so I came across this car when I was young. My grandfather purchased it from a gentleman up in the Modesto area. Don't know who that individual was, but I was in my early teens. Kind of grew up with this, with him going on weekends, car clubs, shows, whatever it may be, and yeah, then after that point, it kind of got garaged, and over the years. Realized that we had to make some changes to it, and ultimately, about 2 years ago, came in my possession, and with Mark's help, now we're in the final stages of getting the basics done. We're moving on to like the nuts and bolts. We're past the nuts and bolts now, I'd say, and at this point next, it's going to be the sexy stuff, all the cosmetics.
Good
Well,
way to put it.
You already got the sexy stuff down. That's one beautiful car.
Thank you.
Now, you just recently did the grill and the bumpers on this.
Yes, we did. So ended up using Pacific Plating, like a local shop. After some research, I think they did a great job. Obviously, there were some defects in some areas that they handled, but really appreciate what the team did over there just to help kind of right size the grill, right size the bumper, to straighten things out the best they could. It was a dull finish to start. Kind of talking with Mark over here, we decided that chrome may be the best way to go. And in doing that, I think it came out with a really good finished product.
I believe they did an absolute beautiful job. Wonderful. The bumpers when it came in, I was talking to Brett about possibly painting them because chroming had been put to rest in a lot of places. So Brett found these guys. They did a bang up job. Absolutely impressed. Brett, tell me, what's the story behind this car with the builder?
So Gene Winfield's a builder for this vehicle. Look, my grandfather used to talk a lot about him when I was young, and the types of vehicles that he built. Gene was known for his fully custom vehicles. From what I know of Gene, he did countless vehicles for movies, celebrities, and just traditional car enthusiasts.
And I would say the word custom is amazing what he did with this car.
Well, you're right. You're right,
Amazing.
Mark. I mean, and I didn't know the details of this vehicle when you told me that it was on a different frame, and it's a lot of different kind of parts in the engine, and it's pretty amazing what's in this thing.
Well, from a mechanical standpoint, this is built on a metric chassis. Now, I believe at the time it was built, it was absolutely cutting edge. Very, very thought out. Everything from the top, which personally is my favorite, the chop, the stance, and the performance of the car when you drive it, absolutely unmatched. As we go through life, they evolve to better products and stuff, but this right here, this is a time capsule, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, and to your point, like when I was looking at the hood, like the hood's one of my favorite parts with the Carson top chop. Like I also love like the shaved doors. I know it took me a while to when my grandfather passed, and ended up taking possession of his vehicle, trying to figure out even how to get into this car was something of a chore. So,
Looking for door handles.
looking for door handles, ended up finding it in the gas tank. So really unique entry to this, and then to your point, like just a stance. From everything I've kind of seen from Gene's builds, like whether it's chop tops, slam vehicles. I think it's a good balance of being lowered but still having enough clearance and space to kind of provide like a timeless
and,
piece.
and very comfortable to drive.
It is really comfortable
The
to
seat
drive.
position, everything about the car. I was sad to give it back to you. I wanted to drive it some more.
Yeah, I do. I do really love this vehicle, and so happy that we're able to, like, with your help, get this thing running again, and back to like the form of which Gene ultimately built it to.
And I feel partially motivated to keep these cars on the road. They're they're going by the wayside. The older generation is passing away. New generation like you makes me excited that you want to take the reins and keep this on the road. And it is extremely fun, exciting to bring the car out, show it, drive it, get everybody re-vested because it's slowly dwindling away. So I feel good about this.
Yeah, and I appreciate your help on this, Mark. And
Yeah.
look, and I have an 8-year-old son, and all he wants to do is go in this thing and ride. So look, and I don't have an electric vehicle. I have electric vehicles, so
Yeah, you're coming from a Tesla driver.
I am going from a Tesla to this. So
This
he
is
just
quite drastic going from a Tesla to this.
so he loves this thing, and it's so much fun. Just him, like, I remember when I was his age and growing up, going in Model A's, Model T's. Grandfather had some old Mercedes, and we would just kind of take those things out. And then I got to experience this, slightly older than my son, and so now being able, like, to kind of utilize this, and he can grow up in this thing, and ultimately we'll see what happens. But
Keep the dream going.
absolutely, that is the plan. But just him saying, "Dad, is this one of a kind? Is this the only one that is available that's out there?" Is so much fun to hear him say, because the reality is, it's pretty close to true. So
Yes.
there's only one of these that I'm aware of that Gene made. That's customized to this level. Obviously, there's variations of 41 Fords, but this is unique because it has Gene's touch.
All of the 41s that I've ever seen or even had to repair, none of them come close to this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car, and Gene did an awesome job on this thing. I'm just amazed at after all these years, and this is what it's like still. Is so impressive of how it's been able to withstand the years,
I
and
agree.
with minor tweaks.
Absolutely a survivor.
Let's open that hood and check it out. So, what's it feel to like to work on a car like this, Mark?
Well, it's actually a breath of fresh air. I don't have to plug into a computer. It is reminds me of the old school days. Spark plugs, you could see, get to. Most of the parts on this are very much available. We ended up changing a few things on this to wake it back up. There'll be more trials, driving to see what other things will show up. What's very impressive is that they installed AC in this car before all of the Gucci kits that you can buy today. And they did a wonderful job, and it functions very well. Absolutely incredible. However, it is a bit of a blast to work on.
Well, let's fire it up. See what it sounds like. Okay, Mark, from a builder's perspective and a maintenance perspective, is there anything that stands out about this car that, you take extra care with, or anything that kind of piques your interest?
Well, the running gear is in 1982 Buick Regal. They used them pretty long and fairly easy to maintain. What's nice, the caveat is the cost is very, very acceptable compared to some of these late model supercars. The the brakes, everything is everyday parts. I would say easy to maintain. It is efficient when it drives. The paint, the body is primarily what you got to be careful with.
This isn't just a car, it's a time capsule. Built in 1941, shaped by the hands of Gene Winfield, and still breathing thanks to the people who refused to let history rust away. We sat down with the owner of the car and the mechanic who keeps this legend alive, not just to admire the chrome and the curves, but to remind the next generation this craft matters. Because when the builders grow old and the storytellers fade, it's up to someone new to pick up the wrench, to learn the trade, and to carry the torch. Otherwise, these machines and the stories welded into them will vanish. If you've ever felt the satisfaction of fixing something with your own hands or wondered what it's like to bring history back to life, this is your sign. The trades aren't just jobs, they're legacies, they're art forms, and they need you. Gene Winfield didn't just build cars, he built culture, and now it's our turn to keep it rolling. Whether you're 16 or 60, there's a place for you in this history and the story. All it takes is curiosity, a little grit, and the willingness to learn. This is a tribute to Gene, to the trades, and to every soul who keeps the past rolling forward. Before the world knew him as the King of Customs, Gene Winfield was just a kid in Modesto, California, tinkering with wrecked cars and dreaming in metal. By 16, he'd built his first aluminum body. By 17, he was laying down paint jobs that would change the game forever. Gene didn't just customize cars, he reimagined them. His signature Winfield Fade paint style turned heads at shows, and his creations lit up screens in Blade Runner, Star Trek, Bewitched, and Get Smart. Hollywood came calling, but Gene never stopped working with his hands. Into the 90s, he was still chopping Mercs, mentoring builders, and showing up at car shows with a smile and a story. Some of the cars that he's well known for are the Reactor, the Strip Star, and the Jade Idol, a 1956 Mercury so radical it became a legend. But Gene's real masterpiece was the culture he helped shape, a culture of innovation, grit, and pride in the trades. Gene once said, "I paint until I like it. Doesn't matter if it takes 2 hours or 2 weeks. That's the kind of dedication we need today, because the torch doesn't pass itself. It takes hands, it takes heart, and it takes people willing to learn." Gene Winfield laid the blueprint, but it's the people who care for these cars today who keep the legacy alive. The owner of this 1941 Custom doesn't just own a piece of history, he became part of it. And the mechanic who maintains it, he's not just turning wrenches, he's preserving a philosophy that craftsmanship matters and that every detail tells a story. These aren't museum pieces, they're living machines, and the people behind them are mentors in disguise, quietly showing what it means to build, repair, and respect the past. This is where the torch gets passed. Not in a classroom, not in a textbook, but in a garage, under a lift, with grease on your hands and pride in your work. If you're watching this and wondering where to start here. Ask questions, shadow a mechanic, pick up a tool, and become the future of these cars and the culture they carry. It depends on you. We're grateful for the folks who opened their garage and their memories to share this piece of history. And if you're still watching, maybe something sparked. Maybe it's time to look closer at the machines around you or the people who build and fix them quietly every day. This channel isn't about restoration, it's about connection between the past and present, between the trades and tradition, between stories that deserve to be told and the people willing to listen. Thanks for riding along. There's more to come. More stories, more grit, more reasons to pick up a tool and start your own chapter. Until then, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep the wheels turning. And as always, thanks for watching.